students, both boys and girls, could be charged with felony child pornography for storing nude photos of one another on their phones.
Well, the pictures were stored using secret apps that mask their true purpose, including one that looks like a calculator but is actually a photo album. Now, according to a 2014 study, 28% of teens surveyed had used social media to send naked pictures of themselves to another person. 60% had been asked for a naked photograph.
And joining us now to answer parents' questions is Nicole Clark. Now, you produce the documentary Cover Girl Couture, and you also conduct workshops for students. First of all, what should parents be doing?
Oh, gosh. Well, the first thing that would be important would be to teach media literacy to parents. For parents to teach their children media literacy, to look at media with a critical eye, because a lot of these young children are being influenced by celebrities and the message they're hearing from media that girls need to be sex objects for boys. And so hearing this message and helping young people understand that the media's motivation is not in your best interest here.
Well, you know what, Nicole? We need to find out why kids are doing this. You said something, you mentioned social media, but you also mentioned girls and boys. It almost sounds like there's some kind of peer pressure. Is that why?
Yes, some of the girls have told me in the schools that they feel obligated to send these pictures because they see celebrities doing it. The message that they hear day in and day out from the media is that you're a girl, your job is to be a sex object, be pretty, skinny, sexy, and then boys on the flip side are taught that girls are mere sex objects, and so they come to expect it, and so girls are being dehumanized and devalued, and then boys are becoming desensitized, and it's the result of our media having all this power, because media now is the biggest educator of our children. Teens spend an average of 75 hours a week with media and only 35 in school.
Wow. What kind of chat should parents have?
Starting with critical thinking, and also this whole discussion about once you take that photo and you hit send, it's out there for the world. Whether or not you think the boy is interested in you, in most cases, from what I've heard from schools, is that the boys that ask for the pictures aren't genuinely sincere about being interested in the girl. They're wanting to become the pimp of pictures, is what I've heard. It's like a notch on your cell phone versus the notch on your belt, the more pictures you have.
You know, you mentioned that, you talked about the girls. I happen to know young men are doing the same thing, maybe not at the same rate. But taking this study, with the judge possibly coming down hard on these students, felony charges, that's something that they would have to deal with for the rest of their lives. I'm not asking you to make a judgment call here, but since you are a psychologist and you talk to kids, what do you think about that, Nicole?
Well, I'm not a psychologist, but I do,
I do
speak to children. Yeah, I lecture. I think we as a society have failed our children because they've learned, like the media has given them this warped sense of what's valuable in another person, and because there's so much media bombardment and these kids are just following orders from what they're hearing from birth onwards, unless parents are speaking louder and teachers are speaking louder, but again with that 75 versus 40 hours a week, I think we as parents and educators and the media have to take responsibility, and of course these young people, there needs to be some sort of repercussion. I think the girls have been humiliated enough and the boys will be humiliated enough, but yeah, there's got to be some sort of thing that happens.
Well, thank you for taking the time to address the issue with us today.
Oh, my pleasure.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Nicole.
Well, up next here at 5 o'clock, a message in lights for young patients at Children's